So, Adam, Tar Heels close out the home portion of their regular season tonight, 7 o'clock, Notre Dame. Senior day, senior night for Carolina. Heels have 7 players that will be honored. Armando Bacot. We know Armando is out of eligibility. Cormac Ryan. 1 year at Carolina, final year, no more eligibility. Paxton Wojcik, final year of eligibility. RJ Davis, not final year of eligibility. He has 1 more year remaining, has not made a decision yet about whether or not he wants to use that year. Again, that is that COVID season. RJ is in the final class of players that has the availability of the extra year, should he choose to use it. And then, Adam, the three guys who at one point in time have been walk-ons. Not all of them are walk-ons now, but Creighton Lebo, Dewey Ferris, and Rob Landry all being honored as well. So we talked about this, I think, some on the Rapid Reactions pod, but this is going to be the spotlight's going to be on Bacot and Davis. And they've been at Carolina a long time. They've been a part of a tumultuous time at Carolina, a coaching change, COVID, all the different changes within college basketball, the magical run to almost winning a national title in 2022, the frustration of last year, the bounce back of this year where they're going to be a 1 or a 2 seed most likely in the NCAA tournament, have a great chance at an ACC regular season title. Those 2 guys, and all 7 will be honored and should be. Those 2 will be the focus because of just the amount of games, starts, moments that they have been a part of with Carolina basketball.
And they've spanned eras.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about when they came in, that was a very, very different time in college basketball and in Carolina basketball than where we are right now. They pretty close to literally have seen it all. When they came in, they never imagined NIL or not playing for Roy Williams. And when they leave, whenever they both leave, they will have seen both those things and been beneficiaries of both those things. And so it really is especially with Armando, it's just the end of an era in a way that it's hard to imagine going to the Smith Center to watch a game and Armando Bacot isn't playing.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, Adam, so if, depending on what happens with RJ Davis, is he the last Roy Williams era player?
I think he is.
Yeah. So pretty significant close there for Carolina and the roster. And again, RJ Davis may be back next year. I truly don't believe he has decided. So who knows? But it will be a big deal for them and for all 7 guys. I mean, then you look at a guy like Cormac Ryan. This is 3rd school, long journey, 6th year in total. So it's been a long run.
7 seniors is a lot. I mean, that really speaks to the potential turnover the Tar Heels are facing next year.
Now, again, 3 of those guys are walk-ons, but still, 4 seniors is a lot.
Right. And the other 3 who are not the 4 you're talking about are a part of what's made this team good.
Absolutely.
Which is the chemistry and just kind of the way it all fits together.
Yes. So there's that aspect of tonight. Hubert Davis has already been emotional about it, just thinking about it. So he's going to be emotional. And then, Adam, you have the whole other aspect of Notre Dame's playing great basketball. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. Now, in total, they are below 500 and pretty significantly below 500. They're 12-17, but 7-11 in conference play. So, I mean, not good, but not awful. They're not sitting there at 0-18 or something. And, I mean, they just beat Wake and Clemson. 2 teams that I think Adam and I both think are, albeit inconsistent, are good teams. And so they were able to get both those wins. This streak. Now, a lot of these wins have come at home. They beat Virginia, and they've come against, until this past week, teams that are in the bottom portion of the league. They beat Virginia Tech 74-66. They beat Georgia Tech 58-55. They won at Louisville 72-50. They lost at Syracuse by 3, but they were down by like 30 in that game, literally, and came back and had it at a one-possession game in the final moments. Then they beat Wake Forest 70-65. They beat Clemson 69-62 on Saturday night. And, Adam, they come in with a ton of confidence. They are unrecognizable if you don't follow them. They will look nothing like what you have seen since Notre Dame has been in the league. Of course, there's a new coach in Micah Shrewsbury. Their top 2 scorers are both freshmen, Marcus Burton, who Adam hadn't even heard of a couple weeks ago, but I think he's going to win Freshman of the Year in the league. Again, we talked about
that means people won't be able to vote for McCain.
I think he's going to do it, Adam. He averages 17.5 points, and he single-handedly beat Wake and Clemson last week. Braden Shrewsbury, Micah Shrewsbury's son, is the other. They're the only 2 average in double figures. Adam, so you've got these 2 guards. Shrewsbury's a shooter. He sits out there and shoots a bunch of threes, taking 189 three-pointers this year. And he's made almost 38% of them. So that's a pretty good percentage for that amount of shots. And, man, I'm just telling you, Burton just scores at all levels. He's an 81.5% free throw shooter, 30% three-point shooter, so not great, but he can knock them in. He has taken nearly 200 more shots than anybody else on their team. So he is going to shoot it, and it's going to go in a lot, and he makes some really difficult plays. He's small. He's 5'11", but he is good. So, Adam, you've got that. And then I think the other part about Notre Dame, they rebound much better than they have in the past. And the reason is they've just added some more size. Micah Shrewsbury brought a big guy with him from Penn State, where he was previously. They have a 6'10" freshman who's in the mix there. Matt Zona, who's been there for a long time, just a big burly guy down low. So, they have some options down there. And while none of them are all conference level players at the moment, they are big, they are active, and I think this is a young team that's playing free with nothing to lose, with a little momentum behind them. Should Carolina be favored? Yes. Should Carolina win this game? You would think all the things would say yes, but I think Notre Dame's a team that's coming here not caring about any of that, feeling like they're playing well, and they're going to go out there and see what happens.
I think we all could recognize the best defensive efficiency team in the ACC is Virginia, of course. I'm not sure that many people would know that right now the second best is Notre Dame.
Yeah, totally. Again, just a totally different formula for Notre Dame.
It's just so foreign if you've been accustomed to watching the Irish over the past few years. Their defensive numbers are really good, and not because they force a lot of turnovers, but because they don't let you shoot a high percentage, they don't let you get offensive rebounds, and they don't foul, which are 3 ways that the Tar Heels like to score. Now, they have not been very efficient offensively, largely because they're shooting a lot of jump shots, as Jones just said. But here lately, more of them have been going in. A lot of one-on-one play. They don't get many assists.
Burton goes one-on-one a ton. A ton.
So that's going to be that's the first thing to watch when Notre Dame brings the ball down the court. Who's on Burton? Because whoever that is going to have to do a lot of defending, and a lot of defending without fouling. They get a lot of their points from threes. This on paper, this is a much better team than what people think, and I understand they've done it a lot at home, and they clearly have holes. I'm not saying they're UConn, but I do think they're better than they have been. And in some ways, I think it helps Hubert Davis that they did get a couple big wins last week that he can point to and say, look, they are capable of beating good teams and have done so.
Just some names to go with who I was talking about a minute ago. They have a 6'10" freshman in Kerry Booth. who has played well for them. The Penn State transfer is Keba Jai, 6'10", sophomore. I mentioned Zona as well, 6'9". He's their only one of only three seniors, on the team for Notre Dame, but he's the only one, I believe, that's been there from the beginning. And so, again, just a different team than what you are used to with Notre Dame. A better team now than the one, if you're looking and going, what, they lost at home to Western Carolina? This is a better team now than it was then. And out of Micah Shrewsbury, when we talked to Mike Bray, I can't remember if he flat out said this or pretty much said this, that he was big in wanting Micah Shrewsbury to come in after him, and he helped Notre Dame kind of coax Coach Shrewsbury to South Bend. And it's only his third year as the head coach, or as a head coach, but he seems like a good one.
It's going to be fascinating to see what their offseason is like, because obviously job one is keep this backcourt in South Bend.
Well, one of them is his son.
One of them is his son.
Yeah.
But also, that's your son. Like, if Kentucky drops a big suitcase full of money on the front step, do you tell your son, don't take it, stay here and play for me?
I'm going to guess money's not a big...
For Notre Dame basketball?
Well, he's been a head coach for 3 years. I don't think they're paying him in peanuts.
Well, that's not his son's money. That's Micah's money. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, because Burton doesn't have prototypical NBA size, so you don't immediately think, oh, he's probably going pro. But they're going to be getting a lot of calls.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have to NIL it up for Burton. For sure. So 7 o'clock in the Smith Center, senior day, lot on the line.